Good afternoon and welcome to the Windsor Star's Net News at Noon. I'm Craig Pearson with Donald McArthur, bringing you the best from the paper and the web. Windsor Police Detective David Van Buskirk has been charged by the province's police watchdog with assault causing bodily harm in connection to a beating that sent a visually impaired doctor to the hospital with severe injuries.
Okay, folks, some good news in Leamington. Point Pelee National Park reopened this morning. Last night, of course, Ontario Premier Dalton McGuinty took a tour of the area. He didn't come with a check, but he came with a promise vowing to provide relief.
General Motors has sent out an interesting memo to staff urging everybody to stop using the iconic term Chevy, replaced by Chevrolet, the New York Times has reported.
Yeah, in related news, Don McLean is changing the lyrics of American Pie. It's no longer Chevy to the levee, it's Chevrolet to the bay.
That's not exactly true, but I wish it were.
Stay tuned.
The Downtown Farmers Market is going to stage a grand opening on Saturday at the former Greyhound Depot downtown. It's going to be running, I guess, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. till October. Fresh food and now live entertainment.
And in a decision released this morning, Canada's Supreme Court has upheld the constitutionality of automatic publication bans at bail hearings. This decision, of course, is a blow for media outlets that had argued they were an unnecessary restriction on the flow of information in this age of the internet and instant communications.
The jackpot for this Friday's Lotto Max is $50 million plus an additional $21 million prizes. That's a Canadian record. You know, sometimes they say these lottos are a tax for idiots, but man, when it's $50 million, I'm an idiot. I'm getting a ticket.
I think I'm going to get a ticket as well from a different store than Craig. I'm going to move over to the right here now. No, folks, boom, in sports, we're not going to get a Game 7, but great news for Windsor's Joel Quenneville. I heard this morning Riverside guy used to play in the Riverside Arena. But anyway, him and the Blackhawks, they won the Stanley Cup last night in an OT thriller. It was kind of strange, actually. Patrick Kane potted the winner. He was the only one who knew it went in. But anyway, the Blackhawks, they've ended their Stanley Cup drought. What do we have, 49?
49 years.
49-year Cup drought. So now who has the longest Stanley Cup drought?
The Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, they haven't won since 1967, folks, but hope springs eternal.
Today is the cutoff date for anybody who wants to submit a proposal to pick up garbage in Windsor, which you probably remember was a major issue during last year's CUPE strike.
Yeah, folks, and it's beginning to look like the CUPE strike redux out there now, at least in historic Riverside there, depending upon what block you're on, couches, carpets, a lot of garbage at the curb, of course, because of that basement flooding. Here to talk about it now is our man on the street here, Jeff Bolichowski. Come on in there, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, come on right up.
Hey, fellas, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
So, Jeff, you were out there yesterday talking to residents, mostly in Riverside and around that area. What's the mood? What'd you see?
I think people are just grateful to have this kind of pickup around, Don. I've seen a lot of folks sitting out there, rolls of carpet, tiles, mattresses stacked in front of their lawn, stacked on their lawns and their driveways. I think they're just glad that the city is reaching out to them, getting ready to take all this stuff away and help them clean up in the aftermath of this huge once-in-a-lifetime storm.
Was there a sense of frustration in any way, though? Because they have some repeated flooding out there, I think.
Yeah, the east. A few folks were complaining that it's the flooding is sort of relatively routine on the east end. It happens quite a bit, especially since some of the streets in the area were redone. Residents on Tranby Avenue weren't too happy. But you could feel a sense of loss in the folks that you talk to. In one family we talked to, they almost lost their dog. Basement flooded. They woke up, found the dog floating in a foot of water, just yipping away. Another home we went to, they're pulling out wedding photos.
Oh no!
Soaked through by this water, leaving them on a table to dry. And yet another one, priceless tapes of the woman's father singing and playing the organ, damaged beyond repair, that have to go out. So I think, in terms of the insurance, they'll probably get some money back if they have flood insurance. But there are some things that have been lost that you just can't get back.
Well, that's a sad story. I know when you go out there and you talk to people who are losing, memories that can't be replaced. It's so much worse than people might think of. What was the cost of the property damage? So ultimately, did you get a sense of what people hope might happen out in that area?
I think people are hoping for a bit of a closer look from the city. I know some folks on the East End are saying flooding is fairly commonplace, happens every now and then. Some folks on Tranby Avenue said they were hoping to get Eddie Francis's attention, take a look at their situation. And I think they're just hoping that the city kind of takes a closer look, gives their case a good eye, and hopefully can do something to help them recover from
Okay,
this.
now the city's flood hotline's got more than 1,800 calls.
Yeah, something like 1,800 calls now. People are really hoping that the city will help them out.
Okay, remember, folks, the pickup's tomorrow, and there was some threats to workers at the Lou Romano plant. And just to be clear here, nobody fell asleep at the switch. This came up at council. Once in a lifetime storm, 89 millimeters between 10 a.m. at midnight. City workers aren't to blame for this. So, let's end the threats and all of that, right?
Mm-hmm. Most of our flooding systems are built to a 100-year standard, so once every 100 years. Well, here's your storm of the century.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Online and on your porch, we are the Windsor Star.